would you rather every time you sit down for an interview, the chair slowly spins on its own and you can't stop it? Or every time you finish a song, a voice from nowhere says, I guess that'll have to do.
Oh my god. Probably
Lovely. Welcome back to the Encore Club podcast. Today I am joined by a very special guest. She is an alt pop singer songwriter blending misty eyed ballads and fiery alt rock energy. Known for emotional lyrics, sharp songwriting, and songs that feel like pages ripped straight out of a diary. Her music blends vulnerability, self reflection, and huge pop moments in a way that feels both personal and cinematic. Based in Nashville, she has been carving out her own lane with releases like Oddities and Prodigies, A Brief Epic, and How the Good Girls Die. She's also taken the sound on the road, touring the US and sharing stages with Grayscale and Small Pools. Today, she's here to build her dream concert, which could get very emotional very quickly, but I hope it stays relatively light. It's Caroline Romano. How are you, Caroline?
I'm good, how are you doing? Thanks for
Really
having
good,
me.
thank you. Thank you for coming. It's great to have you here. Let's jump into some questions about your background.
Let's do
So,
it.
um, your songs feel like very personal, very deep, almost like memories
Mhm.
that you've turned into music. But when did writing first become more than just something that you enjoyed and just really started to feel like a part of you?
I would say in middle school is when I really started writing daily and feeling like it was really a necessity in my life. I kind of treated it as like a journal entry at first, but at the same time I was learning to play guitar. And so I'd start putting those journal entries to guitar, and I found it was just a really cathartic way to write about my feelings. And I started coming to Nashville about that time when I was 13 and started playing those songs around town, and that's when I was like, "Okay, this is something I literally need in my life to do every day."
Nice, nice. Okay, and I think from what I've heard of your music, like it feels very honest, but without like feeling like it's been like shoehorned into the music, if that makes sense. So
Sure.
like it's very much it's a very much it shows your character and your personality really well. Um,
Thank you.
was there a point where you became more comfortable letting people hear the most real version of you and what you're feeling?
Yeah, I think over time, I slowly just became more comfortable with people hearing these, like, super personal parts of my life. I think it really started when after I started releasing the first few, like, singles of mine, and I would get feedback from people being like, "Oh my gosh, like, I'm so glad someone else feels this way, I really relate to this." It really encouraged me to just be like, "Okay, there's no harm in just, like, telling it how it is and how I really feel." And I've honestly felt like that's been the most impactful thing in my career is just, like, being as honest as possible.
I love that. And if you were to like, let's for example take your fans, right? If they were to approach you and they wanted to find out something, maybe they wanted to scratch a little bit
Mhm.
above, like below the surface, and find out something more about you that isn't just portrayed in your music or your, I guess, online persona and things like that. What's something that might surprise them, that might shock them?
That's a good question. I feel like people are surprised, especially like even though I talk about being anxious in my songwriting a little bit and like being shy, I think people are surprised about how shy I am just like actually in person. Like after shows, I'll get off stage and people I think are sometimes a little bit taken aback at how quiet I can be. And I've tried to talk more about that in my songwriting as I've grown and gotten older and more comfortable with that part of myself. But I still am a anxious girly. I still am not super like comfortable in my own skin when I'm not doing the music aspect of it.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I'm like a podcaster, but I am horrendously shy. So like,
Right, it's weird.
if I was just to like meet you in person, for example, I would
Mhm.
probably be really quiet. And then I don't
Yeah,
know, there's something about having this camera here, and I think the obligation of knowing that my job here today is to talk to you about your dream concert.
mhm.
It's like okay, it almost gives me that confidence, which I guess the music does for you in a sense.
Exactly. I think that's it. I think it's just like that is also the one aspect of myself where I am totally like feel fully like myself and like I know what to say, I know what to do. So yeah, to that point, I think it is just like those are our comfort zones. But if we were in a room with 100 other people, we'd probably be the quietest people there. So
Good times, good times. Let's talk a little bit about music and the kind of music I guess molded you, especially when you were um, growing up. I guess. What was the first song that you became completely obsessed with?
oh gosh, trying to think. I am definitely someone who was raised on like Taylor Swift, like driving to school, we'd listen to the Taylor Swift CDs in the back of the car. I remember hearing songs like just the whole Fearless record. I was like, "This is insane. This is the coolest thing I've ever heard." Because other than that, it was just whatever my dad wanted to play whenever he'd drive us around in his truck, and it was a lot of like Shania Twain, Bryan Adams, which I loved. Anything like Phil Collins, but I feel like Taylor Swift was my first like, okay, there's something in this music thing that like really resonates with me, and it was her storytelling for sure.
I love that. Any, I mean, obviously you mentioned the Fearless record, but any, was there any tracks off it in particular that really kind of like resonated with you?
I think 15 definitely resonated with me, even though I was, like, probably 6 or 7 years old at the time. I was like, "This hits. High school is gonna be crazy. Gonna be
Uh-huh.
crazy." Loved that song. All of them, though, seriously.
And what was your first concert that you ever went to? Your first show?
My first concert was Taylor Swift Red. We went to Dallas
Wow.
to see her at the Cowboy Stadium, and it was crazy. Ed Sheeran opened. It was awesome.
Wow. Ed Sheeran
Yeah.
opening as well. Yeah, that's
It was
awesome.
way back then. We were
Um,
like, "Who is this guy?" It was Ed Sheeran. Yeah.
was this, had he already found a fair bit of fame by that point, or was
I would
he?
assume so. Again, I was probably 8 or 9 at this point, I think, maybe 10. And so I was not aware of Ed Sheeran, but he seemed to have some fans in the crowd. But like this was like first A team, like first like when he really started doing the US runs and everything.
No.
So that was cool.
Nice. Okay. Wow. I mean, look, just to give you an idea, I've had, I think, a roughly 50 guests on the show so far,
Wow.
and a lot of people say Michael Jackson as their first gig.
Really? That's a
A
really
lot.
cool first gig.
It
That's
is,
crazy.
and you know what? It's like it's such an eclectic mix of like what they enjoy now musically. So like there's a lot of
Mhm.
like the emos and the kind of
Oh
new
yeah.
metal kids, and then you've got the rappers and the DJs, but it all kind of goes back to this kind of pop centric
Hmm.
starting point. Mine was Nickelback, weirdly.
That's
So
dope. That's amazing. Incredible.
um, is there? I know you've mentioned Taylor Swift, but
Mhm.
it may be that a similar answer for this, but is there an album that maybe reminds you of like a specific time in your life, like it defines an era of Caroline?
Absolutely. I feel like this was not it's I didn't listen to this record super religiously when it first came out, but the whole Melodrama album by Lorde definitely defined, like, my being 20 to 22 time in my life, like, especially during the summer, I remember I would just walk around and, like, think, and I was going through heartbreak, and I just felt like she was defining this, like, super cool, youthful soundtrack to my life, and no matter what or when I hear that record now, I'm like, I know exactly where I am right in my old apartment listening to that.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, Lord is amazing. Awesome, awesome. Let's get a little bit deep. I'm gonna
Okay.
ask a relatively deep. It's not that deep. Let's be honest. I'm egging it up a little bit.
Okay.
What's a song that always manages to make you emotional?
Make me emotional, so many. Um, I think Carlos's song by Noah Kahan is such a beautiful song and one of the first, from that project that really made me, like, fall in love with his writing as well. I always get emotional to that song. What else? The Freak Show by Youngblood, weirdly enough, I feel like that's not, like, an expected song we like to get emotional to, but I love that song a lot.
That's a very that's an eclectic mix there
Yeah,
of
I would say so.
you know what, I love it though because you know it's easy to reel off like the real kind of tear jerkers, but then to throw one in there that maybe you wouldn't necessarily apply emotion to on that level like
Mhm.
is cool because it's like you can. I think this is something that I've said to a few, and I've spoken about with a few of my guests, that music is so subjective that it's gonna have its own meaning to you, and your songs are gonna have their own meaning to your fans. That
Exactly.
might be different to what you were feeling at the time of writing it. Um, so yeah, I think it's important to be able to say, it's a bit of a weird choice, but I this is one that hits me hard.
100%. It's also cool, like, going to shows and, like, seeing people react in real time to songs that, like, maybe originally didn't, like, strike you as meaning that to somebody, like, it is interesting how it all just speaks differently to everybody for sure.
You know where it hits for me, and it's really weird. I did a post about this on Instagram, and it's TV shows. When they use certain music in TV shows, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, that's given me a whole new perspective on this track.
Oh my god,
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, it pulls at the heartstrings for me. I'm a bit of a crier when it comes to like a sad song as well. So,
Dude,
um,
me too. Me too. That's how I discovered, Cough Syrup by Young the Giant. That was in, like, a Glee episode, and, like, that was, like the fan edits to that were crazy, like, of people putting that song over it. It totally changed the, like, landscape of that song for me.
nice, nice, yeah, yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy what a bit of moving imagery can do to just like completely
Oh,
lift a song
100%.
to a different position. Okay, this is a question I ask absolutely everyone that comes on the podcast. 50 odd episodes, we've asked it to absolutely everyone. The answer doesn't have to be someone that is famous. It can be a family member. It can be someone famous. It's completely up to you. But
Okay.
who is your biggest hero in life?
My biggest hero in life. Wow, that is really tough. I would say it's my can I say 2 people? Like, it's my parents, probably. I think the way they really have just been so involved in every aspect of my life, but also really encouraged me to be myself and find my own way, and having witnessed, other people's, like I know I'm very fortunate and blessed to have parents that are not only, like, such incredible mom and dad, but also, my friends, and they provided really awesome opportunities and a really cool life for me, which was amazing, and they come to my concerts and listen to my music, and I think it's just a good model of, like, at the end of the day, no matter what happens in my career, what happens in life, like, just being good people like they are is something that I really admire and wanna be.
I love that. I think something that I've started noticing for this is season 3 of the podcast, and
Okay.
the first 2 seasons, we didn't get many, like, dads being mentioned at all,
Mhm.
and it really struck a chord with me that, like, dads weren't really getting shout outs, and,
Yeah,
partially it's understandable that the mum would be the kind of main shout out there, like,
sure.
given how everything is with, like, kids and their parents, but,
Totally.
it's really nice that this season, I think, we're 4 or 5 episodes in terms of recording, and, um, we're having a lot of dads, which is really nice.
That's
So,
awesome. That's good. Let's go. Let's go,
yeah,
dads. That's
definitely
that's good to
dads.
hear.
Shout out dads. Cool. Look, let's set the scene a little bit for your dream concert. So the way that this will work is, we're gonna talk about the venue first.
Okay.
And then I'll ask some more kind of music-based questions, might play a few games, and then we'll do like each act broken up with different segments in between them, okay?
Gotcha.
So to start off with, we're gonna talk about your dream venue for your
Okay.
dream concert. Just to let you know, it can be anywhere in the world, it can be anything in the world, real or fake. We've had like someone chose a forest under the northern lights in Greenland with no
That's
stage,
incredible.
and someone
Super great answer.
right. Exactly, yeah. So the stage is yours.
Okay.
Go ahead, let me know what your dream venue is.
Weirdly enough, my dream venue is a local venue in Nashville. It's called, Marathon Music Works, and I love it because it was my first, like, real concert in Nashville, and I saw a lot of artists who might have been smaller at the time come through and play that venue, and then I've had friends play that venue, and it's just always, like there's just this energy about it to where you feel like you're, like, literally right there, even though it's a decent sized venue, and it's, like, just a little bit, like, emo, gritty vibes, and I love it a lot. So, I think no matter
Nice.
who is playing there, that'd be my dream venue.
But what's the cap? Do you know the capacity?
I think it's, like, 1 to 2,000, so it's, like, not a huge venue or anything like that. Like, if you saw a really huge artist there, that'd be crazy.
It's a good size. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
And so obviously it's your dream gig, you're getting ready to go to the venue. Who are you taking with you to your concert?
I'm probably taking my roommates because I've dragged them to so many concerts in the past that they are angels for, and probably did not necessarily find the interest to want to go in the first place, but they've also been so awesome in like just accepting all the different music that I've been interested in, and they always know how to have a good time. So I'd probably bring my 3 roommates.
Nice, nice. Okay, love that. The roommates are coming.
Oh, yeah.
And when you get to the venue, what's your kind of go-to? Are you heading to the merch stand? Are you getting a drink? Are you gonna go and find a decent place to stand? Like what's your routine, I guess?
My routine is probably depending on how long the merch line is. I do like to go and scope it out, and probably because 'cause I'm an anxious person, I'm like, "What if they sell out?" So I have to go get it for the most part before it starts. Maybe grab a drink and then find, like, our post-up spot. Like, I'm kind of past the time in my life where I'm like, "I have to be barricade." It's very rare that I'm like, "I have to be right up on it." So probably just find the spot, designate, chill, take some pictures, and then get ready, like, to get the energy going.
Nice. That is a question I was gonna ask actually. Whereabouts do you stand? So like for me, I'm 36,
Mhm.
past mosh pits, past front barricade. I'm kind of sound booth adjacent just because decent sound, little there's always a little bit of space to the side of a sound booth.
Right.
Where's your kind of go-to choice?
Particularly in this venue, I feel like I always stand, like, to the right, starting, like, where the crowd starts to thin out a little bit, but you're still in the crowd, but if you needed to get out really fast or, like, you just were like, "I need to step back, go to the bathroom, take a break," whatever, you can kinda, like, get out pretty easily. So kind of, like, to the middle right side for some reason, it's where I gravitate.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, a little bit set back, but still decent
Still in
view.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we've set the scene for the dream concert. Before we start talking about acts, I've got some more questions, mainly about your music, um, and just like other bits, I guess. So when you start writing a song, what h- how does it work for you? Are you like, I'm going to write all the lyrics, I'm going to develop a melody, or you start with the instrumentation?
Mhm. I'm definitely a very lyrics-based person and writer. I kind of always start with, like, either it's, like, a few sentences that are pretty nonsensical that I've written down in my notes app, or it's, like, a concept. That's kind of how I always stem from writing, is just kinda getting that story down first, and then I like to go and kind of just follow whatever melody I feel like it naturally is writing itself towards. Because whether I realize it or not, when I'm writing these words down, they kind of have their own melody in mind, I feel like. And so it's just kind of massaging that and figuring that out. And then last step for me is pretty much always instrumental, which I'm trying to kind of switch up actually. I want to be more I guess instrumentally conscious in the newer stuff. Just for in terms of shaking it up. But yeah, I'm a lyrics girly for sure.
Nice. Do you ever get out like voice recorder and just like
Oh yeah, I will walk around my room like while I'm getting ready in the morning and like my I'm literally gonna have to get a new phone just to hold my voice memo storage because Apple is not down with me doing this many voice memos. But there's so many if I just scroll through it and it's just like me humming something in the middle of the night or randomly. So God forbid anyone ever gets access to all of those. That would be very, very strange for them to hear.
I love that. And so when it comes to your writing, obviously your songs, I've kind of mentioned, I've touched on it at least a little bit,
Mm.
that your songs do come across as quite visual and cinematic, in the way that you have chosen to kind of go around the lyrics and the arrangement and instrumentation. Do
Mhm.
you kind of picture scenes in your head as you're writing it? Are you like visualizing it essentially as you're going about the writing process?
Oh, I definitely think so. I feel like I kind of always write it from the standpoint of like if this was a music video, if this was a movie, or if it was a scenario where I'm literally just writing about like the exact thing that happened. Like I want to try to paint that picture as visually as possible, very along the lines of like if you're listening to an audiobook, what scenes do you want to be painted around you kind of thing.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. I think it's important to have something like that in mind when you're writing. Just to like give you an idea. Obviously I do a podcast, so I'm nowhere
Mhm.
near the level of songwriter that you are, but I done some songwriting, and that's kind of how I would approach it too. So I think it seems to be the a good way of doing it at least.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So let's just quickly, if anyone who hasn't maybe found you yet online or anything like that, if you were to give them one song of yours that kind of sums you up, that really kind of pushes you out there,
Mhm.
and you think that they'll gravitate towards, what would you choose?
I think I would choose a song of mine called Body Bag because it starts off very, like, cinematic and visual, but then it also is very frenetic and high energy at the same time in the chorus, and it has those, like, pop moments. But I think you just kinda get a good taste of, like, the world I like to build and, the highs and lows that I kind of have throughout, my music, even in all in one song. I think it'd be Body Bag.
Nice, nice. Body Bag. It's a good song actually. I have heard it. So
Oh, thank
good. Okay, let me ask a bit of a silly question. Let's pretend you're in a movie. Yeah.
'kay.
You are starring in a movie. It's a scene where you are walking away from a really intense conversation. Okay.
Okay.
I need you to pick the music that's playing over the top, and it could be your own song or someone else's, completely up to you.
Dang, okay, a really intense conversation. Oh my gosh, you know what it would be? Because I used to, like, pretend I was, walking away from this as a kid. This is another, like, I would listen to the song in the back of my dad's car and be transported to a scenario that my child mind would never be actually in. But it's that song "Nothing" by The Script. You know that song?
Yeah, yeah, lovely.
Dude, that song had me going back in the day. It would probably be something like that. It's just, like, intense and, like, angsty, but a little bit, like, dad rock too, which I love. That's my jam.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
probably that.
And following on from that then, you've got to the end of your movie and, things have gone well for you in the movie.
Okay.
So don't worry, everything's fine. But I need you to pick the closing credits song for your movie as well. Let's say it's a movie about your life.
Okay. Oh, man. Movie about my life, a closing credits song. The thing that's at the top of my head right now would be, "Silk Chiffon" by Muna and Phoebe Bridgers. I feel like it's a good, like, closer. It feels, like, happy, but you don't quite get too much detail involved. I think it'd be that song.
I love that. I love that. Great song for a closer as well. Okay, awesome. Okay, so we've got a film about Caroline now.
We've got the film, the script, and Muna all in
Yeah, there
one
you are, sorted. Okay, let's play a quick game. Um,
'kay.
this game is called One Night Only.
Okay.
The idea is that you have the ability to bring one artist back from the dead for one concert.
Okay.
So I have a few kind of questions,
Okay.
starting with who is the artist?
It would definitely be oh, do you want me to tell you now, or do you wanna go ahead?
Yeah, yeah, you go for it.
Alright. It would probably be Freddie Mercury. Like, it actually 100% would be. It's not a probably. It absolutely would be.
Cool.
So,
I mean, it's a good choice. I've got a little
yeah.
Freddy somewhere. There he is. I don't know if you can see it. You can't see him. 1 minute.
Aw. Little Freddie.
Little Freddy.
Incredible. We love.
Okay, cool. So we've got Freddie. You get to also choose the era. So it can be the peak of their fame, around their first album, right before they died, or in the prime live performance era, which I assume would probably be like Live Aid.
Live Aid, yeah. I probably would say, like, live performance, Live Aid. I feel like that puts us in a good, like, you can ask a lot of different questions.
Nice, nice. Okay, which kind of leads into the next question. What would the venue be? Would you want it in like a small venue, or would you want it in like a stadium?
I feel like you've gotta see Freddie Mercury in a stadium. I don't know what stadium it would be, but I feel like that's just the way to experience him. Like, I feel like it's rare that someone can emit that much, like, magnitude and power and it emit through the whole entire place like that.
There you go. Come to the UK, have it at Wembley. Like, why?
Yeah, do something like that. Let's do Wembley. Let's run it back. That'd be great. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, cool. Um, you have to pick an encore song for them to perform, for him to perform.
Mhm.
Um, completely up to you what song.
See, I feel like they would play "I Want to Break Free" in the set, but I feel like if they came back with that, like, if the lights went out and that song came back in, like, I feel like I'd lose my mind. And it was just one of my favorites, it's always been. So,
It's a good
pretending
choice.
that they wouldn't already play that song, it's not like a deep cut, but yeah.
I love that. Look, it's one of their best songs, and
Yeah,
it's your one night only. So
true, true.
this is it. So okay, there is a price to pay for this.
Okay,
Okay, so you need to pick one out of these three. I'm gonna have to make them up on the spot. So bear with me. Um,
okay,
one of your favorite artists no longer exists if you bring back Freddie for one night only.
okay,
No one else gets to see Freddie but you.
okay.
They can't play the encore that you want. You have to pick one.
I feel like it'd probably be they can't play the encore because I'm not, like, greedy enough to even though it's tempting, like, I would want there to be a full crowd for Freddie, and then couldn't bear to have one of my favorite artists not also in existence, so I feel like I'd give up the encore and leave it to fate of whatever he decided to play that night.
That's fair enough. Well, look, I tell you what, they can he can still perform "I Want to Break Free" at some point in the gig.
Yeah,
So
'cause truthfully, that's not an encore song. I thought about, like, what that could be, but I don't know. I don't know.
that's
Yeah,
fair enough. That's fair enough, and
yeah.
that's your one night only with Freddie Mercury. I love that.
It's my one night
Um,
only.
we are straight into our first act for your dream concert now. So the way that I do this is I don't really like to call them like support acts and then headline because sometimes it's three complete legends, sometimes it's someone's decided to do it as like support headline.
Mhm.
Um, so the first act of your dream concert, who have you got in mind?
I've already kind of mentioned him, but I think Noah Khan would definitely be at my dream concert. I've seen him play before, and it was one of those where I, like, did not stop crying the whole night long just because, like, his music is that does that for me. So I feel like Noah would be a good start to the evening, just, like, vibe-wise.
I like that. And what kind of what's the encore song you're going for? Is it are we going Stick Season or are we going for something else?
No, it would probably be "Mess" by it's on his first, album, and Busy Head, and I love that song, and I think I think that is a really actually good closer, like, I think that would hit.
Amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
amazing. So we've got the first act.
Yeah.
That's a really strong start for like quite a nice, not too big venue as well.
Mhm.
I'm interested to see what the next two acts are, but before we get into them, I have some more questions for you.
Okay.
If you could steal someone else's song and pass it off as your own,
Okay.
what are you going for?
Oh, this is another tough one. Julia Wolf has this song called "Bottle of Advil," and it's one of her older songs, and I love that song, and she actually has a line in it where she says, like, "But I'll hear a song I didn't write and then forfeit," which is weirdly enough just about the feeling of, like, wishing you'd kind of written that song and just, like, this existentialism. But I love that song. It's always my, like, go-to when I wanna feel something. So yeah, definitely that one.
Nice. Okay, great choice. Great choice. Um, okay, I've got a bit of a task for you.
Okay.
Um, you are creating a songwriting circle. So it's going to be you and three other artists, and you are going to essentially get in a room together from now until the end of time to write songs.
Okay.
They can be dead or alive, they can be new or old, it can be whoever you want, but I need you to name three people that you would want in that room with you to write songs.
Okay. I'd probably choose Holly Humberstone because I think her melodies and just her, like, way of speaking is very, very cool. Obviously gotta throw Taylor in there. Sorry to mention her so much, but I think she's, like, the GOAT when it comes to songwriting.
Fair enough.
Um, and then I think just for fun, I would also probably throw Sabrina Carpenter in there. I love her writing, and I think she's very versatile, like, listening to her older stuff too, it's like she really can do anything, so I think no matter what vibe we brought to the table, Sabrina could handle it. So yeah, I think that'd be my circle for the end of time.
I like that. To be honest, I've got really into Sabrina Carpenter recently because I've got two girls and
Oh, love.
they are like fanatics for Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, and Taylor Swift is like their trio.
Oh,
And
amazing.
I've just been kind of deep diving into Sabrina Carpenter and like some of the songs are just huge, like
Yeah,
like,
they're incredible,
they're
incredible,
so well written as well, and it's just like, okay, this is actually class, like, she's really kind of gone about this a really kind of special way.
incredible.
So yeah, great answers, and that is your songwriting circle for the rest of time. Let's call them all up and just get it sorted. Like I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
I
think
can
if we just call you know what I mean? It's like, what if we just call Taylor up and then, like, we
easy.
could do that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you think songs that stay with people most are the ones that say something clearly or leave a little space for interpretation? So, like, the message is direct and clear, or it's open to interpretation that hits better.
Yeah. I would say the latter, like, the one that's kind of open to interpretation, and I know that's, like, a little bit contradictory in how much I've talked about, like, painting a picture and being super lyrical, but I think that it's even harder to do that well. I think of songs like Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls or like any other super anthemic song that says it clearly. If you read it on paper, it says it. Then there's also just this feeling and this slight like openness to the whole thing to where you can kind of interpret it different ways and it can mean different things to so many different people. I think that's like the hardest thing to do as an artist, and it's kind of the thing we're all like that's the goal in writing a song like that. It's something super powerful but can mean so many different things.
Have you ever heard the song "I Can Feel a Hot One" by Manchester Orchestra?
I don't think I have. I've heard some Manchester Orchestra and I really loved it, but I haven't heard that one. I need to
That
like listen to that after though,
For me,
for
it's one
sure.
of those songs where, like, it took me and it shouldn't have taken me this long to figure it out, but, like, it took me a fair few listens to figure out what was going on in the song.
Mhm,
But once I kind of figured it out for myself, where I
mhm,
kind of I didn't need the interpretation because the lyrics did tell the story deeply enough, and it is
mhm.
quite obvious, actually. I don't know how I didn't get it, to be honest. It's a little bit stupid of me. Um,
No,
but it's one of those songs where it's just like it hits so hard when you understand what he's talking about, and
right.
the imagery that he does around it is incredible. But sorry,
You can.
yeah, I think songs that have there's so much weight to both answers, isn't there? So, like,
Yeah,
a song that can kind of fully tell the story is great, but then also the one where you can interpret it how you want and apply your own thoughts and feelings to it can really, like, bring a whole new perspective that is completely personal to you.
yeah,
So yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about both, really. One shows that the writer has the direct ability to kind of tell a story, and the other one shows that the writer has the direct ability to make you tell your own story.
right, right. Both are really, really cool. I feel like there is that aspect of like it's like a shared secret between you and the song, though, if it's, something that you've interpreted yourself. But
Exactly.
both are amazing and skills that I'm still trying to get better at myself. So.
I love that. And so when someone's done listening to your songs, what are you hoping that they are taking away from it?
I only always hope that people are taking away, something similar to that feeling of being understood in a way that they didn't quite know other people felt, which I know and as we get older, at least I've learned, like, we really do all share so many of the same experiences and emotions, which I find very comforting. But there are still those times when I'm like, when I hear a song that perfectly places or at least evokes a feeling that I wasn't quite sure anyone else felt in the exact same way or saw the world through the way I see it. Like it is the most like comforting, like close to heaven kind of like experience I have in life. And so that's always my goal in writing music is just for people to feel understood and seen and find some comfort in them.
I love that. And that leads us swiftly into the second artist for your dream concert. So without any further ado, Caroline, who have you got for me? Who's your second act?
Well, they're actually behind you on that wall, and it is My Chemical Romance. I saw
Oh,
and
okay.
I have to honor the emo scene kid in my heart, growing up alongside Taylor Swift, there was a girl who loved Hot Topic and My Chemical Romance and all of those things. So,
I love
deeply yeah, would have to be them.
Okay, and seeming as they're on the wall behind me, anyone that mentions a band on the wall behind me, from now on, I've decided this rule literally right now, Caroline, as well. They can
Oh,
pick two encore songs.
oh my
So
gosh.
if you could give me two, that'd be grand.
Okay. Okay. I mean, my original answer for the encore, I think was going to be I'm Not Okay, which again, obviously, I think they would play in the set, but I also feel like that would be a great closer. Um, and then, I mean, I also think they would open with this song, but for some reason, this is one of my favorite songs. The End, I feel like they would always open with that track, but I would love to hear it last at one point. I think that would be kind of fun.
That'd
They're
be
coming here, yeah, soon, and I'm really trying to get tickets because I've never seen them live. Have you?
my so I've seen them, like, showing my age a bit. I saw them on the original Black Parade tour,
Oh my gosh,
and I'm seeing them in June at Wembley for the Black Parade tour
that's
with my
incredible.
partner. She surprised me with tickets for my birthday. Thank you very much. I appreciate you so much. Um,
I
because
love
they're
it.
expensive. They're so expensive. So,
That's why I haven't gotten mine yet.
yeah,
Yeah,
so that
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
mad, isn't it? Like, yeah, mad pricing. But if you do get tickets, like it's such from what I saw before, and by the looks of how they're playing the sets, it's the exact same. Like they're doing essentially the whole Black Parade album and then all their hits from all the other albums. And so
Mhm.
they do the whole Black Parade in full costume and then they go and get changed, come out in their normal kind of random, skinny jeans and black clothes and do the rest of the music. And it's fantastic.
I love it. I have to ask, if you were to have an encore by My Chemical Romance, what song would you pick? Because I feel like I picked 2 expected answers, but they genuinely are, like, just some of my
To
favorites.
be honest, I think I would probably choose what they normally do play,
Yeah.
as the encore. I'd probably go Helena. I don't
True.
know, that's a tough one because I obviously had to pick all these. These are all the bands that kind of I grew up with that formed
Love.
me,
Mhm.
and I struggled between whether I wanted that album or the Black Parade, on the wall, and it came down to, like, which one did it start with for me, and it
That's
started with
fair.
that one. So,
Yeah.
um however, the song that I fell in love with first was "I'm Not Okay."
Yeah.
That being said, I think emotionally I developed and Helena became a better song for me.
That's fair.
So I'm gonna say Helena.
That's a great
No one's
answer. I
after
mean,
that.
there are no wrong answers when it comes to My Chemical Romance songs,
There you
so,
go.
yeah.
There you go. Awesome. Okay, so that's act number 2. This is shaping up to be a great gig already.
Yeah, very versatile.
Yeah. You know what? I'm here for it. Also, I should probably tell you now, as I do normally at about this time in in all of the interviews we do. Um, I create a Spotify playlist of all the songs that you mentioned throughout this whole episode.
Oh,
Anything that you
amazing.
won't mention, anything that I mention. Um, so just to throw it in there, just because I do this with everyone, it could include songs like The Crazy Frog. I don't know if you ever knew The Crazy Frog.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
okay, so that's on your
No.
playlist now.
Okay,
Sorry.
great.
But everything you mentioned is gonna be on a playlist that I'll release at the same time as the episode.
That's so exciting. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, and that's got me hype. I'm so
Amazing,
excited.
okay. I have 2 games to play with you before we go into your headline act for the evening. The
Okay.
first one is called The Sacred 3. The
Okay.
premise is pretty simple. However, the actual kind of sorting it out is quite hard because I'm gonna ask you to pick 1 song, 1 artist or band, and 1 album, but all other music in the world is deleted. So with
No!
that with the artist, you can have their whole catalog,
Okay.
but then just 1 song, 1 artist, and then 1 album.
Wow, that's tough. Okay. One song probably would be, um, Top 10 Statues That Cried Blood by Bring Me the Horizon, maybe?
Okay.
Just love that song, and I listened to it, like, right before I hopped on this, so it's, top of mind. One album would be um, one album would probably be I hate to do this to you, Taylor, but Folklore, I think, would always be in my I hate to delete the rest of it, but Folklore has to be in rotation for me. And then
Nice.
one artist, this is, like, the hardest thing in the world. Um, what would it be? Probably, let's say Holly, because I feel like she's got a diverse sound and she's putting out new music, so I wanna see what's coming with Holly Humberstone. I wanna see what's still out there, so I'm gonna keep all of Holly's discography for right now. That's hard. That's hard.
That is a tough question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I've got your email. If you don't mind, I'm gonna send you I have done like a almost like a lo-fi version of Top 10 Statues. For
Please send it to me. I would
the
love that.
idea was that I wanted to do like emo songs, but that could be played lightly at a wedding or something like that.
Oh, you're speaking my language. That's amazing.
So
Yes.
I did like a very quick, like, just to see if it would work, and
Uh-huh.
so you can let me know your thoughts. And you know what?
Please.
I'll when I release this episode, we'll release this clip, and I will release the song as well
Let's
at the
go.
same time.
That's exciting.
Amazing, um, awesome. Next game, because
Okay.
that was a tough one.
It's tough.
This one's gonna get tough too.
Okay.
This is play, repeat, delete.
Okay.
This is it's essentially shag, marry, kill, but with bands. Okay, so
Okay.
like just to make it nice and easy. And we've got different rounds for this one, and you're going to help me build it. Okay, so
Okay.
I we're going to start with artists, so not bands, just individual artists. I need
Okay.
one legendary artist from you.
Okay. One legendary artist. I mean, can we say well, that's a band. Um, one legendary artist. Uh, I'm trying to think. I need help. I'm trying to think right now. This is
I'll
tough.
take like lead singers as well if that helps. So like if you wanted Freddie again, then feel free to throw him
Yeah,
in.
go
Or
with Freddie again. I feel like I need Freddie.
nice, we're going Freddie, and then I need a modern artist. So
Okay. Um,
anyone that's probably still live and kicking.
Olivia Dean, maybe?
Nice. Okay, and then a personal favorite.
A personal favorite. Um, what's a good band? Personal favorite. I have so many. Um, let's do I'm looking on my Spotify right now, actually, really, really fast. Personal favorite, let's do Aaron LeCount.
Okay, nice. So what I need you to do is pick one to play once or twice,
Okay.
one to repeat forever, and one to delete from existence.
Oh gosh. Okay. Um, what did I even pick for my middle one? I can't even remember. I did Freddie, Aaron, and who's my other
Olivia, did you say
Olivia
Olivia?
Dean. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. One to play, you said once or twice?
yeah,
Aaron. I'd play her once or twice. Listen to Freddie forever, and I'm sad I would probably delete Olivia Dean. Love her music, but I also feel like I'm too sad for some of that. She's a very, like she's a feel-good girl. So,
I love that. Okay, so round two is bands.
okay,
This time we're going to go with a classic band.
okay. Classic band, let's do Goo Goo Dolls. Does that classify as a classic band? Okay,
100%. Yeah, yeah, I love
okay.
that. A cult band. So your Michael Chemical Romances, that kind of
That's what I
bit.
was gonna let's put My Kim in there. Oh.
Lovely. And then finally, a huge mainstream band.
Can we say in 1975? Does he quantify?
100%.
Okay. Okay.
Right, same question. Play, repeat, delete.
Play, repeat, delete. Um, so probably play once or twice Goo Goo Dolls. Um, repeat My Chem, delete 1975,
Fair
sadly.
enough.
I love all of
Yeah,
them so much, but it's what I have to do.
it's a fair answer. It's a fair answer.
Yeah.
And finally, for round three, we're doing songs. So
Okay.
I need a huge hit. So I'll give you the huge hit whilst you think about a song that you love. Okay.
Okay.
So a huge hit. Let's go with Mr. Brightside by the Killers.
Fair, fair. Um,
Um, you go for a song that you love.
okay, Godlight by Noah Kahn.
Lovely. And finally, a song that everyone knows.
Taste by Sabrina Carpenter. Maybe does everyone know that song?
Perfect. Yeah,
I would
lovely.
think so.
Okay, and finally, play, repeat, delete.
Um, play once or twice. Uh, Godlight. Honestly, repeat Mr. Brightside, delete Taste because I can't give up Mr. Brightside. What am I gonna do at any event ever if that song is not around? So
Can you imagine if that wasn't at a wedding? Like,
we would never be united as people. We
exactly,
would have no
exactly.
unifying. Yeah.
They must
So
be earning so much money from that. Like,
oh, I can't imagine. It literally is like it's like Mickey Mouse. Like people, you start. Everyone knows that. I don't think there's another like applicable song like that in modern times. Honestly,
no, I mean, I think probably one of the closest that you get that, but it's not even close still, is like "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi. Like that's
right?
because
Yeah.
everyone like knows it and everyone plays that, but no one enjoys it as much as Mr.
No
Brightside.
one like ignites a fire in any crowd of people like Mr. Brightside. It truly is
Exactly.
like I don't know what's in that song, but something.
Except magic, just
Yeah,
pure Brendan Flowers magic.
truly.
Amazing. And we're here. We've arrived at your headline set.
Okay.
So without any further ado, who is your headline act for your dream concert?
I feel like we saw it coming, but it is Taylor Swift. I didn't see her at the Eras tour, and I feel like what a roller coaster of emotions would it be to have Noah Kahan, My Chemical Romance, followed by Taylor Swift? We would really experience every emotion ever. So yeah, I feel like it has to be her. I just am an OG fan, so
I love that. I have a
yeah.
small twist that we do at this
Okay.
point with everyone. Before the encore song, Taylor will bring out a special guest for a one-off song. So I need the
Okay.
guest and I need the song.
It would be Lord Supercut, I think.
Nice.
I think that
Nice.
would be yeah, sticking
Okay,
to it.
amazing. And is Lord staying on stage for the actual final encore as well, or is she maybe just gonna go and chill out for a little bit afterwards?
I feel like she'll chill out afterwards because I feel like the actual encore I don't know, do you want me to reveal the Taylor encore now?
Yeah, 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 go for it.
Okay. It would probably be Long Live. I think that's one of my favorite songs by hers from the Speak Now era, and it just evokes something in my little musician heart that I love so much. So I feel like that's gotta be like I mean, Lord could be there if she wants to be there, but I feel like it'd be up to her. So,
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah.
She can BV back in
Autonomous
vocals all
decision.
the way.
Yes, exactly.
Love that. Okay, amazing. Well, congratulations. You've completed your dream concert on the Encore Club. Well done.
Oh.
It's a really epic gig actually. Like you kind of
Pretty
go
big.
through the motions a little bit, don't you? Like
You
down here
really do.
and then like just epicness with confetti at the end. Um, amazing. I have some the way that we round off shows is we do like wild would you rather's.
Okay.
So I'm
Love
gonna
it.
just and it's quick fire. So I'm gonna run through them, and you just tell me where you're going with each one, and
Okay.
we'll round them off. Okay, so let's start easy. Let's go with: would you rather play one massive stadium show to 80,000 people, or a tiny club show to 100 fans who know every word?
Tiny show to 100
Nice.
fans. Yeah.
Would you rather have a song everyone in the world knows, or a song that your fans feel like belongs only to them?
Probably that's also people that belongs only to them. 'Cause I feel like that's you can't beat it.
Nice. Okay, would you rather forget the first line of a song live or start the song in the wrong key and realize halfway through?
Forget the first line of the song. Wrong
Yeah.
key, recover. Ugh, that'd be tough.
Would you rather every time you walk on stage, a random confetti cannon goes off for no reason, or every time you hit a big note, a single firework goes off indoors?
Oh my gosh. Ugh. I feel like I like the confetti just for the lack of fire hazard and also the surprise.
I love that. Okay. And would you rather every time you release a song, your entire family group chat starts analyzing your lyrics, or every time you play live, one person in the front row sings louder than you?
Definitely the latter. I would definitely
Yeah.
have the one person singing louder in the front row.
Lovely. And last but not least, Would you rather every time you sit down for an interview, the chair slowly spins on its own and you can't stop it? Or every time you finish a song, a voice from nowhere says, I guess that'll have to do.
Oh my god. Probably the actually, let's do the voice from nowhere because I think that is going on in my head anyway whenever I finish a sentence, so might as well make it audible a little bit.
I love that. Well done. You smashed those, and I think you've actually done them a lot quicker than a lot of people. So well done. A lot of people
Let's
tend to
go.
like try and tear them apart a little bit. It's like, dude, just rattle
No,
through
I
them.
love those questions. Those are incredible questions, actually, so
Thank you.
props.
You have obviously you've made it through the Encore Club, and I really appreciate you being here. Before you go anywhere, please just let everyone know what you've got going on in your life, what's coming out. What tell us all about what Caroline Romano's got coming up.
Yeah, so I just released my third EP last Friday. It's called "It Took Me Falling," and I played my first Nashville headline to go along with that, and so that whole project's out. Super stoked for that. And right now, I'm just working on some potential, hopefully, touring opportunities, and I'm already working on the next song to come out. So just gearing up for that. And yeah, a lot of new music this year, even though we just put that project out for sure.
Amazing. Woo! Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.